Oh, hey, what's up, guys? It's Brian House here for Housework. Welcome back to the workshop. And today I want to talk about something that's pretty personal to me, but a lot of you have reached out and asked me in the private messaging section of Instagram and emailed and other things, asked me about my tattoos. Tattoos tend to be like this very personal thing for some people. They don't want to talk about their tattoos and they just want to get them and wear them and whatever. But I'm not like that. I actually would love to share one particular tattoo that I have that gets most of the attention. It's this guy right here, which is a little skull tarot card held by a gypsy hand. It is says La Mort on the top, and for anybody that speaks French or knows what that means, it means death. And so when you get the death card in the tarot readings, a lot of people, oh man, it's death, skulls and the Grim Reaper and that whole thing. But to anyone who's ever studied the tarot, they know that doesn't mean death. It has nothing to do with death. It signifies change. It's death of one thing, something that is in your life, it's happening. Sometimes it's an end of a relationship. And specifically, if it's held straight up like this, it can mean severe illness. It can mean numerous things, but most of the time it's death of one thing and the birth of another. And that's why I got it. I actually don't study the tarot. I'm not a tarot card believer. I don't believe in any of that. At the time I was riding my motorcycle a lot. I've been, thinking be kind of cool to get skull tattooed on my arm, just like everybody else, got to be all manly and all that, and get these, I got snakes and dice and whatever else, and very traditional tattoo work done on me, and I love it. I look at it every day. It's something I really enjoy having on my body, and probably get more. Probably just keep going. The guy that I actually use for my tattoo work moved out of Florida, moved to Colorado, so it's a little tougher for me to get work done. He does come down. His name's Danny. He's a great guy. Does amazing work. He's pretty much the only person I let work on me. He's a good friend, and he's been sticking me for the last 10 years or so. But what I really want to discuss is change. The segue here really is, I look at this a lot and I think about how one of the only inevitable things in our lives is change. We can't stop that from happening. And a lot of times change is thrust upon you. It is something that happens to you. It's not something that you are initiating. A lot of us fear change, right? We don't want change. We like normality. We like routine. We enjoy knowing what's coming next. It makes us feel like we are in control. And when change is thrust upon us, sometimes it's from somebody else's decisions and somebody else's words and actions, and we have no choice. Somebody in China gets sick, somebody covers it up. It's a whole thing, and now we've got the situation we're in. That's one person's choice. Do I believe that person thought they were making the best choice possible? Yeah, probably. I think nobody wants a pandemic. Nobody wants a situation where a lot of people might get sick and die. I don't think any particular person wants that. And if they do, then that's not cool. But I think when we look at change, we have to learn to embrace it and not push it away, especially when it's being thrust upon us. If you embrace change and you see it as opportunity, you can leverage it for the better for you. Some of the biggest, worst things that occurred to me, the most adversity that's ever been slammed down upon me, which was totally out of my control, were some of the best things that ever happened to me. Of course, it took time. I needed to look back on it and, see those decisions that were made for me that I didn't like, that I hated, that caused a bunch of turmoil and change in my life. I had to examine those later down the road and understand, hey, those were good things. A lot of good things came from that. Some bad too, but mostly good, and changed my life for the better. In fact, shifted my life into a really great space where I never thought I could ever be. So I embrace change. Now, do I want all of this? Do I want pandemics and sickness and death? No, I don't. I dislike that very much, as most of you do. It brings me loads of anxiety. I am dealing with it every day. I feel like my only solace is sitting right here in this workshop, working on the things that I've got going on in here. This is where I forget. I come in here and I spend 8 to 10 hours a day in here, and I don't remember what's happening out there. But then I get home and I see my kids and I see my wife, and they've not left the house for 3 weeks now, and I'm the only one stepping outside the house for the most part. That's a lot of change, man. That is a lot of change all at once. It's, we're quarantined in like a beautiful place. I live in South Florida. It's beautiful here. We have sunshine and nice sea breeze here. So if you're going to be quarantined anywhere, this is a good spot to do it. So I really want to give you guys a little window into what I've been up to in the last week or so. I've been working on, if you follow me on Instagram and on my YouTube stories, you know that I've been working on this hog splitter project. This is one of 4 that I have made, and this is the first one to be completed. I stabilized this maple handle here and installed it yesterday and glued it. I glued it all together last week and then let the glue, the epoxy, set for a day or two, and then finished it off yesterday. And it's a massive piece of steel that I really like. I really like holding in my hands. It's not a practical kitchen tool by any means. But I spent the entire day shaping the handle, sanding it down, and really working with this stabilized maple and taking my time, which is something I don't do typically. The detail work for me isn't always the easiest. I had to put myself in the mindset that what else do you have to do? Really? I mean, honestly, my tech business is quiet. There's not a lot going on there. My house, it's quiet. I've got nowhere to be but in here to do this work and to produce this art. I'm doing it. And it actually kind of comforted me a little bit to know that I had the time to do it, that I wasn't forced into production. I wasn't forced into get all 4 of those done, get them online, get them sold. No one's going to buy them because it doesn't matter. Nobody has any money right now for stuff like that. And nor would I want anyone to spend their money on stuff like that. So I feel like I'm just going to do the best job humanly possible. And I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to enjoy the process. And I'm going to slow down and just do my best work. And that's what I got. I got good work out of myself the last few days and weeks. So I'm interested in what you guys are up to. And I don't know the best way for you to get a hold of me, but I do give my cell phone number. It is right down here. You can call it, you can text it. I won't always answer it, but a lot of times I will answer text. If you feel like you need to talk about whatever, it doesn't have to be about this or, your feelings or whatever, you don't have to talk about anything. Sometimes it's just nice to connect. And sometimes it's nice for me to connect. In fact, every single person that's called that number, I have had fantastic conversations with. So, and it's made me feel good. It makes me feel comforted to know there's so many people out there that do this work that share the same commonalities with me, which is rare, by the way, in my opinion. I love that. I love hearing from you guys. So thank you to everyone, by the way. I have received Instagram messages and YouTube messages and phone calls and text messages, you name it. I have so many people have reached out to me from all over the world that watch this channel, and I truly appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for doing that. It really means a lot. And I know that there's some catharsis there. This is a two-way street. You're reaching out to me and in hopes that we'll kind of talk it through together, and I appreciate that, and I love that, and I love that we are able to do that. Think about the internet and how cool it is. I mean, imagine like 30 years ago going through this, and we'd all be sitting around playing Uno, right? So, or backgammon or whatever games people played back then. But I just feel like if we're going to go through a pandemic right now, we got our Netflix and Hulu and the internet and YouTube and all this other content stuff that we can use to communicate with each other. Think about that for a minute. Like, it's actually not that bad. And in fact, getting back to the change theme of this video, think about now the global perspective shift that's going to happen because of this. And think about how exciting that's going to be for you. Are you going to get back into your old ways? Are you going to go back to the rat race? Are you going to just like hammer away at that life? Or are you going to make a change because it's a result of this pandemic? Are you going to stand up and change? Are you going to make this like a deep cut in that life of yours? Because you only get one, you know, you only really get that one life. And no one will judge you to change right now. If you come out on the other side of this, let's just say you were a mechanic, but you wanted to be a knife maker, or you wanted to be an artist, or you wanted to be a poet, no one in their right mind will say anything to you. You can do it. You can change. You can make that change now. It's a great time to do that. It's a great time to invest in yourself and make those changes, because the world has stopped. We have hit the reset button now. I'm optimistic. I love it. I think it's great. Am I scared? Yeah, a little bit. So, if you got something out of today's video, make sure you hit that thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And if you hit that little bell, you get a notification every time I upload something to YouTube. There are numerous ways to support my channel and what I do right here in my workshop. And if you'd like to, and if you have the means to, that'd be great. But if you think you would ever have financial trouble in the near future, please do not do any of that. It's not important. I truly appreciate you guys. Please stay strong. Reach out to me if you want. I would love to chat with you. And until the next video, I hope to see you on that next video with me here. My name is Brian House, and this has been Housework.